Rock Pat here. All right, guys, man, it is gonna be another one of them big, beautiful Texas sky days, man. And let's have ourselves a shop update because we haven't had one of those in a little while. I haven't really done anything on anything, substantial or not, on any of the old classic cars hanging out over here. Other than I did do a little sanding on the Monte Carlo. So, yeah. The little white truck, man, the little white truck is riding and driving. Everything is going good. I did put him up on the lift and checked his transmission fluid, and man, I had to put almost 2 quarts in that thing. And then I discovered that there's a big leak on the speedometer bullet area. So, gonna have to get up underneath there and take a look at that. But I will say this, the shifter is working better now that it has some oil in it. Let's go. Well, that truck right there is a customer's, and I have the PCM out of it. Sent it out to get new capacitors put in. That's a long, drawn-out story on that one over there. Leroy's going in the shop this weekend to get a little love on him because I finally figured out what's keeping him sidelined, and that is the pickup coil up inside that distributor. And I've already purchased one, and I have it in hand, and the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to get a new pickup coil in that distributor so that he stops losing fire. Other things that I'd like to do on this car this weekend is the front end alignment needs to be redone to kind of help with that. It's got that Mustang 2 front end up underneath it, then it's got those slots, and that's not exactly ideal. I also need to cut that inner fender on both sides out a little bit more so that I can get to the bolts and make sure everybody's tight. If I got this problem again, I'm going to set the front end and all, and then I'm probably going to take me something and put me a little fucking, like a little block or something behind that bolt area and tack weld it in place so it'll hold better. The other thing I need to do is go ahead and yank the exhaust off the car, and I think I need to finish welding the top sides of it. That's, at least I think that's something I need to do. I'll find out once I chunk it up in the air and everything. But yeah, Leroy's going into the shop. Gonna spend a little time with Leroy Thanksgiving. All right, so that's that. Big long black one. I took the engine out of old boy. That was at the beginning of the summer, and my ideal was to put that 6.0 LS that I have in that truck. But I've come to the conclusion that, well, the engine that it was in the truck, the only problem that we were having with it was that the number 6 rocker arm studs were pulling out of the heads due to the engine having overheated a few times. I know it was overheating when the engine went in the truck. My buddy told me that it was good. Put it in there and it started overheating all the time and wouldn't run with the thermostat in it right, and it was just a problem. And come to find out what the problem was, whoever put the intake manifold on it had put the intake manifold gaskets backwards, so the one with the little bitty tiny hole was up there where the thermostat's at, and the one where the big opening is was back there where the heater core was. So basically the only thing that was keeping it cool was the heater core. So I have another set of heads for this engine, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and pop the heads off this thing, take a look at everybody, pop it, roll it over, look at the bearings and everything, and if I need to, throw a new set of bearings in it, basically do a backyard rebuild on it. Nothing special, no spending any major money other than some gaskets and maybe possibly some bearings. I do have a new timing chain and stuff like that laying around, still in the boxes. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do there. Save me some money on changing the exhaust over and having to get the right radiator and messing with cooler lines and all that kind of stuff. It's just going to be easier, and no wiring. Just put it back together and everything, because I need to move the boat and take it down there to get title transferred so that I can do something with this. I really don't want to spend any time with it until I have it in my name. and that is something that needs to be done. Yeah, that's got to get going pretty quick and everything. Because yeah, I need to get those engines out of that boat and find out what we got to do with that. And yeah, so Leroy, we're gonna work on this weekend. Figured out something on one of the problems I got with Sketchy Dick over here, and one of those problems is these headlights. And I figured out what I got to do to this bucket to get a, well, I put this headlight bucket thingy in there. Gonna have to do a little trimming and a couple of spot welds. I'm just short one ring and all. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Went to the Home Depot. If you made it this far, it's probably too late to this time. But they had this whole kit thingy right here on sale for $199. All them tools. A drill, an impact, a saw, a skill saw, a sawzall, one of them jitterbuggy type saws, and a flashlight. The flashlight's kind of a throwaway. And 2 batteries, man. You can't even go buy the 2 batteries for what I paid for that whole kit. And then I talked my buddy into buying one, and he didn't need the skill saw because he already has one of the skill saws that I actually bought because I borrowed it and it broke, and I went and bought it and replaced it, and he never uses it. So he gave me the other skill saw, so I got an extra skill saw now. Oh man, what did I... Yeah. This has been something. She comes rolling in here, calls me up saying that the rear end's making noise. And I had replaced the rear end about 3 years ago. After she had somebody put a clutch in it, so they were saying it was in the transmission and all, and blah, blah, blah. So all sorts of, yay, BMW, yay. So this big-ass engine, and I say it's a big-ass engine, was up inside that. It's 6 cylinders. That's a pretty big engine for a little bitty car like that. 2.8 liters, 6-cylinder. Got an engine last Monday, a used engine, now, because dude, this shit's expensive, okay? Let's just put it this way. A used engine going in this car is a little more than $6,000. So, yeah, But I'll tell you this. Used engines going in cars nowadays are going to be $6,000 to $7,000. I used to be able to do this. Let me get on a little mini rant. I used to be able to put a used engine in somebody's car for anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500, and $3,500 was just like unheard of. But now I can't even go buy an engine at the junkyard without costing me $2,000 right out of the box for a used engine. Just a little side rant, but that's just, the McRib cost a whole lot more than it once did, right? All right, so got an engine from my old boy, and I waited like 2 weeks on another guy that's supposed to have an engine. And then I waited for the other guy, and then he sends me an engine over here on Monday. Today, a week ago, no, Monday. Today's Tuesday. So a week ago, Monday. And then that Tuesday, I had a job to do on something else. Wednesday, I got back to the engine problem, and I peeled the valve cover off, and the freaking camshaft's rusted. I'm like, it's not any good. So I called them up, and by Thursday, I had that engine, which I made him take the valve cover off and the oil pan off so I could inspect it before I took it home and everything. But yeah, that's that's next week's project right there. This week's project is this week's project is Big Orange Leroy out there coming inside. Gonna get him. I just needed about a weekend's worth of me fiddling with that car, and I can have him just like I got the King Dick, all road ready, rocking and a rolling and a rolling and a rocking. That's what we're gonna do this weekend, is rock and roll on this, and see if I can't fix a few things that it needs to be fixed. All right, guys, well, y'all keep rocking and a rolling and a rolling and a rocking, because we about to get our Leroy on.